How about those Lady Bulldogs? Yes, sir. 2011 NCAA, well, not yet the NCAA champions, but the SoCon champions and automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Absolutely fantastic. What a great performance by those ladies, and we'll may hear more about that in just a moment. Good morning. My name is Buck Brock, and I'm Vice President for Business and Financial Affairs with Samford University, and welcome to the Hannah Center. Thank you for joining us on this absolutely beautiful day for this absolutely special occasion. And trust me, for me, it's personal. In a moment, I'll introduce and present to you Samford University's next Director of Athletics. But first, I'd like to recognize one individual who is with us this morning, former head basketball coach at the University of Alabama, former athletics director at the University of Kentucky, collegiate sports icon, and proud father of our next AD, C.M. Newton. Coach. Coach, it's good to have you with us. Next, I want to recognize and thank the athletics department administrators, coaches, and staff for the leadership that you have exhibited and the jobs that you have done to carry on the business of Samford Athletics over the past few months without the benefit of a full-time, real AD. And you only have a few weeks left. We intentionally did not name an official interim AD in order to allow me to spend some time over here learning more about a very, very important part of this university. And it's been beneficial to me, but it hadn't always been so easy for the folks who live in this building. But I can tell you this. They are an outstanding group of dedicated professionals with whom, Martin, wherever you are, you will enjoy working. So thanks to each one of you for what you do and for the way that you do it. In late November, we formed a committee to conduct a national search for our next athletics director, and we're assisted by a national search firm. The search committee was comprised of 12 members representing important constituents from student athletes, coaches, faculty, friends of Samford Athletics, and alumni. Dr. Emily Hines, right back here, associate professor in our College of Arts and Sciences, co-chaired that committee with me. And Emily, and with a show of hands, other members of the search committee who are here, please be recognized. I want to thank you all for the time and diligence you put into this extremely important effort. And I will add, job well done. Martin Newton's name came up early and often in this search process. His business and marketing management background with Converse and Nike, his experience on university campuses most recently and currently as Director of Operations for men's basketball at the University of Kentucky, his broad national network built from years in working in and around collegiate sports, a Samford graduate and former student athlete here, understanding of Samford University and commitment to its mission, all combined to make him the ideal choice to lead our athletics program going forward. To paraphrase a recent quote by his father in the local newspaper, he is the right fit at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Samford University's Athletic Director, Martin Newton. Martin?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Boy, you all are so far back. We want you to come forward. Hey, First of all, before we get started, Buck, if you would allow me just 1 minute. Mike Morris, women's basketball coach, you and your staff, can you guys come forward? And any of the players that you have with you, please. Let's give them, absolutely, give them a big round of applause. Yeah, come on, assistants, you too.
These are the only 3 that don't go to class.
Good. They're seniors, right? Ready to graduate. Okay, good. You know, first of all, this day really and the recognition should be about them. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you what they've achieved this year. If you don't mind, I'm going to read this real quick. We've only had a program for 14 years. Is that correct? Mike's been here for 9. First ever NCAA tournament appearance. Big hand. Won a school record 25 games. Ranked 4th in the nation in free throw percentage and 3-point field goal percentage. We may get you to come to Atlanta with me this week. 6th in the nation in 3-point field goals a game at 8.3. Emily London led the nation in free throw percentage at 93%. How about that? Big hand for Emily. And 2nd in 3-point field goal percentage at 48%. They beat teams from the ACC and Clemson, the Big East and South Florida, and just had an unbelievable season. And we are so proud, and I'm so proud, to be a part of their first national championship run, one of many, but a big hand for this group right here. Now, real quick, I got to get an assist on this. Mike gets the credit, but what you don't know is when I coached junior pro basketball when my son was about 9 or 10 years old. She's turning red on me. And I was one of the coaches. We had the draft. And you know, at the draft, you're sitting there and you've got your little pad out and you're making notes. And I see all these boys out there, but this one little girl caught my attention because she had the will to win and a competitive spirit like you have never seen. You know what you guys have seen her play, am I right? Well, she had it at 9 or 10. So we go back into the draft, and all these guys are drafting Jimmy and Joe and Johnny, and I get the first pick, and I said, I want Emily London. So, Mike, I got her career started. You did a great job, but I got her career started. Thanks. Appreciate it. Need to thank quite a few people. I want to start first and foremost with Dr. Westmoreland. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity that you've given me to come back to my alma mater. I'm emotional and touched, and I appreciate that. You know, when I came back on campus for my interview, I was a little nervous. And I don't know if it was because of the interview process that I was going to have to go through or the hill that Mike Hanks, who I see here, used to make us run in preseason conditioning, but I was nervous. And I will tell you, after spending 5 minutes with Dr. Westmoreland, and I shared this with him, he put me so at ease and made me feel like I was home. And you know, you have those people, God puts those people in your life at the right time. And there's certain people that just get it. And I don't know what it is, but I know he gets it. And I am so thankful for the opportunity to work for you. Buck Brock. Buck and I got to know each other over the last couple of months and probably drove him crazy, to be quite honest with you. But after spending some time with Buck, the one thing that jumped off the page at me was the passion and the love that he has for this university. You see, for Buck, this is a want to, not a have to. And he doesn't have to do that. And Mr. Brock, I'm so glad to see you here as well. But this is a want to for Buck. And Buck, I want to thank you for 2 things. Number 1, for thinking outside the box. And number 2, for giving me this opportunity. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Bob Roller. And I think he deserves a big round of applause. You see, folks, Bob made this a really good job. He made this a job that a lot of people wanted, me included. And you think about what he did, the transition to the Southern Conference, the facilities that he built, this Hannah Center that we're standing in right now, the coaches that he hired, the staff that he assembled. He left some really big shoes to fill. And to be quite honest with you, I'm a little intimidated. But I told Dr. Westmoreland also, you know, there was a book I was reading, and one of the quotes that stood out to me, it said, if the vision of your life isn't intimidating you, then you're probably insulting to God. Well, this vision's a little intimidating, but I've got a great staff, and I can't wait to get to work. like to thank John Calipari for giving me the keys to the University of Kentucky basketball program while he coached the team. He basically just said, look, you deal with the administrative stuff, and I'm going to deal with the coaching. And so I'd like to thank Cal for not only that, but for being a great friend. You know, Coach Sullivan, you and Coach Tillett can appreciate those coaches' trees. You know, all the coaches have them. They've got the trees where your assistant coaches go up and they become head coaches and so on and so forth. With Cal, we were sitting there the other day, and he goes, you know, I think I may be the only basketball coach that has an athletic director's tree. So thanks to Cal for giving me this opportunity as well. I'd like to thank Mitch Barnhart, the athletic director at the University of Kentucky, for answering probably, I know, for the last 2 years, some of the dumbest questions he's ever had to answer. But I really appreciate letting me in on the university and getting to understand, getting a behind-the-scenes look at athletics. I'm forgetting somebody, Buck. Oh, I tell you, I want to thank this old guy right here, standing right here. My dad, C.M. Newton. He's my mentor. He's my best friend. Want to thank him for, I got to tell you, I don't know who's more excited, to be honest with you. For the last 2 weeks, I'd get a phone call. Have they called yet? I say, no, Dad, they hadn't called. He says, don't worry, they will. So I want to thank him. I also want to take this time to publicly thank him in front of the media for agreeing to be the lowest paid consultant in the history of college athletics. We're going to have a fun run. Hated that my wife and kids couldn't be here. They've all got careers and jobs, but Cindy, my lovely wife, she's, you know, the great thing about this for her, this is a homecoming for them as well. All three of my children, Katie, Madison, and Charles, or Nudie as we call him, were all born right here in Lexington. In fact, our first house is about a mile as a crow flies behind campus over here on Edgewood Boulevard. So I want to thank them for allowing me to follow my dreams. If you can't tell, I'm excited to be here. I mean, I am thrilled. You're going to hear that word a lot from me, is excited. And I'm excited for a couple reasons. First and foremost, it's an opportunity to come back to my university, a place where the decisions that I made as an adult came from the education and the lessons that I learned here at Samford University. And it's an honor for me to be able to give back to this school that gave so much to me. So I'm thrilled for that reason. I'm excited because of the people that I met on my visit. Emily Hines, professor. Do I have to call you doctor? Dr. Hines. Let me tell you something, folks. If our students and our faculty and staff in this community has half the passion that she does for Samford Athletics, I've got the easiest job in the country. So thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. Peter Newberger. Peter's been here 20-plus years. I'm so excited to, there's Peter, right here. I'm so excited to learn from Peter. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait to learn from you. Michelle Durbin. Where's Michelle? Never heard a bad word about Michelle from anybody. And I ask a lot of people, and I have yet to ask her husband. He's next. But I've yet to hear a bad word about Michelle. But Wanda Lucas. Where are you, Wanda? Don't hide back there. I got to be honest with you. Wanda, when we had the search committee, and Buck will attest to this, I was a little worried about Wanda. That connection, I wasn't feeling that connection. But Wanda and I had a great sit-down meeting, and I told her in that meeting, I said, Wanda, just don't let me screw the budget up. But I tell you what put it over the top for me, and I'm sad they're not here right now, but it was the two student athletes that were on the committee. Jeremy Towns, a football player from Dolomite, Alabama, and Taylor Chow, a volleyball player from Miami. Wow, is all I can say. Folks, that's what Samford's all about. That's why I'm excited to be here, is to serve them and the other student athletes. So thank you very much. Any questions? Do we want to open this up for question and answer?
If anybody's got a question, that's anybody.
Except for you, Dad. Well, if not, I'm going to head to Atlanta for the Southeastern Conference. It's kind of bittersweet. It's a little bit of a catch-22. I'm ready to start. I mean, I'm ready to be here now. But unfortunately, we've got a basketball team that's trying to compete for an SEC championship and then hopefully a national championship. So I'm going to try to get back and forth. We had a great meeting with the coaches and the staff. I'll be back here just as soon as I can. But I am so excited to be here and so thankful for the opportunity.
Joey's going to help me.